Vermintide 2 has lots of fun and interesting weapons, but not everything is currently worth your time. Here are some range weapons that I would like to see get buffed. This first one is really two weapons, but I'm counting it as one. It's the Grudge Raker and the Blunderbuss because they're the same thing, basically. I really want to like these shotgun style weapons, but I just can't. Usually the biggest advantages of a range weapon are long range sniping for specials or some kind of high damage that is good for monsters. These have neither. In fact, these weapons are so limited that they are really only good for berserkers, which is currently not enough to ever justify running them, in my opinion. I would like to see these weapons be buffed enough so that they can at least handle armor better. Similar to the way that handgun does more damage to armor than it does to infantry. By taking the Grudge Raker or Blunderbuss, you're already putting yourself at a major disadvantage by sacrificing your long range, and something has to make it worth it. Yeah, you can make temp health from the bash, yeah, you're good against berserkers, but what it's really lacking is that armor damage. You know, for a close range weapon, you fight elites up close, usually more than you do berserkers. Wouldn't it make sense for the Grudge Raker or the Blunderbuss to be able to one-shot a Storm Vermin, you know? You're still only killing one at a time. I don't think that would be broken or busted or anything. In fact, I think it would make it a lot more competitive. The second weapon I want to talk about today is the Repeater Pistol. It's hard to put into words just how bad the Repeater Pistol is. Its two biggest problems are ammo sustain and armor damage. And while it has a synergy that technically works with Bounty Hunter, I still don't think it's quite good, and it definitely feels very out of place being run on a Witch Hunter Captain or a Zealot. Now there are a couple things Fat Shark could do to remedy this situation. They could either just straight up increase the ammo capacity overall, or they could give this weapon some additional crit chance on those light attacks. This would help proc Scrounger and kind of help players out with ammo sustain and whatnot. They could also, of course, do both of these things. I would not complain. I also feel like those light attacks should do more armor damage than they do. It's kind of pitiful, and really the only way to deal with armor with this weapon is to use that shotgun, but that forces you to blow through your ammo like nobody's business. And finally, the last weapon I want to talk about today are the throwing axes. And for a long time, I tried to pretend that the throwing axes didn't even exist, but alas, here we are. While the recent change allowing them to count as a one-handed weapon for Slayer was admittedly pretty nice and unexpected, they still need quite a bit more. For starters, the biggest and most glaring issue with the throwing axes is that the reload time is absolutely atrocious. It's way too long. Now guys, Fat Shark also made the Briar Javelin, which is really more or less what the throwing axes should be. They need to have a quick reload time, and I don't think it would hurt to give them a melee attack or two. It also doesn't really make sense to me why only Ranger Veteran and Slayer can even use the throwing axes to begin with, while every single elf class can use the Briar Javelin. That's it for me, guys. These are just some thoughts that I've had on some range weapons that I think need to be buffed or addressed. What changes would you make to these weapons? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to this channel, leave a like and leave a comment. It doesn't cost you anything. I also have a Twitch channel, link to that in the description down below, and I also have a Discord channel with like almost 1,400 people in it. You know, if you don't have any friends or whatever, like I used to not, you can join that, and we play Vermintide, believe it or not. Sometimes it happens. Later, guys.